It's time now for our Unbreakable record segments here on Kansas Sports Chatter, where we get to highlight some of the records that are set at the high school level in the state of Kansas that not unbreakable necessarily, but are going to be really, really tough. Some of the tougher ones out there. And to help us out is the chairman of the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame, Jeff Bollig. All right, girls basketball. You talk about, there's been a lot of dominant teams that have won a lot of state championships. Very few can say that they were just at the state championship and the state tournament year after year after year after year. St. Thomas Aquinas girls basketball is where we're going to go today, Jeff.
Well, 31 consecutive state appearances. It's amazing, when you think about it. And credit for the first four to Craig Hershiser. And I knew Craig. Craig was a graduate assistant on Larry Brown's basketball staff when he first got to Lawrence. And then he went on to teaching, and he obviously coached at Aquinas for 4 years and got them going. And then after that, for the next 27 years, every year that he's been on the staff coaching, it's Rick Hetzel has led the Saints to the state tournament. And Coach Hetzel, I've got to know, watched his teams play over the year. He started out as a JV basketball coach at O'Hara High School, coaching boys for Mark Nussbaum. And Mark is a legendary coach in the Kansas City area. More on the Missouri side, but Mark's a great coach, great person. And Rick learned under his tutelage and then took over Aquinas in the 1998-99 season, I believe, and has been to state every year since. So it's amazing what he's done. And, you watch his teams play. He plays a very motion style of offense, and he credits that. I remember he said he went to Bobby Knight camps when he was young. And there's a lot of things you can learn from Bobby. Some about the game, some about the behavior and discipline. But he's a disciplined coach, and he coaches a lot of motion. And I heard a comment once, and is that how he's hard on them, but he's demanding, but he's fair. And that's what I think these players like about him. And so they've been very successful in 6A and 5A as they've gone back and forth in basketball. And just incredible what they've been able to accomplish.
Well, and you look at what they've been able to accomplish at the time period in which they did. I mean, you talk about something that started in the mid-1990s, and stretching out now. There was a lot of really good girls basketball programs during that stretch too. And to be competing, like you said, in 5A, 6A, that's a pretty nice time period of girls basketball.
It is. I think he's advanced to, or they've won the champion 8 of the last 9 years. So, of course, then you can add on the COVID year. But yes. And, really, as I've watched girls basketball in the state grow and develop the amount of clubs, the amount of travel teams, amount of exposure, it's really, really elevated. And we've sent some very good players, to colleges, Jackie Stiles, Emily Ryan, Addie Brown, Taylor Robertson. I can go on and on and on. We've really developed some very good basketball players in Kansas. And, as kind of researching history, there's just some great girls basketball stories in the state of Kansas, and I would encourage everybody to go out and watch these games. But, Shelley Hoyt did it at Hoxie, with those wins. What they did at Claflin, Little River, that run, Coach Shane Cordell they had. And I remember he said his 1995 or 96 team, he thought could beat any team in the state. I believe it was a 1A or 2A team at the time. So just some really good basketball. And that's really moved to the college level. And, K-State's been very good over the years. KU has a great recruiting class. They won the WNIT a couple years ago. But I even look at the smaller schools. You look at Pitt State, Fort Hays has had a tremendous run out there. I just think it's a good sport. It's fun to watch. And sometimes it gets overshadowed by the boys and men's game, but really, really some good talent out there. And of course, that starts young with the education and the instruction they get. And I point to, teams like Aquinas with Coach Hetzel. He's put, I think, 34, 35 girls into college basketball. And it's just a credit to what they do.
You kind of have maybe a more of an inside track to St. Thomas Aquinas, Jeff. Do you get a sense those girls that are coming through that program? I don't want to say it's a sense of pressure, but maybe just maybe it's extra confidence that they go through that program and just knowing the tradition that they have.
Well, the tradition and the pride And that's the one thing that's great about high school basketball that maybe we're seeing a change in college is that, there are some transfers in and out of high schools, but for the most part, you come in as a freshman and you're exposed to the upperclassmen. And so there's that continual building and the expectation of performance and culture, if I can say that. And that's what I think, you've heard coaches say all the time that for the good teams and good programs, the coaches don't really coach. It's the players, they have expectations and they work with the younger kids. So I would say, yes, having seen that, there is some pressure to win and pressure to continue the tradition. And, I think the really good student athletes thrive on pressure. They see it as a challenge, a way to get better. So there's no doubt about it. We were watching volleyball, Nebraska volleyball, and we had the Final Four come up for women's volleyball here in Kansas City. And it's amazing. They've been so good throughout the year. And then when they get behind, what kind of pressure does that put upon you? And not saying Nebraska failed at all, because Texas A&M was great, but it's interesting. That's the thing about sports that we love so much. It's reality TV at its best.
Yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas girls have handled it very well. Jeff, appreciate the time.
Great to be with you, Cole. Thank you.
That is Jeff Bollig, the chairman of the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. That'll do it for our Unbreakable Records segment.